It's Father Son Galaxy. Thank you so much. We've been gone for a little bit. Thanks, Keith. All right. This is Father Son Galaxy. I am
Yep.
Kerwin, and this is
Keith.
Keith. Yeah,
Hello.
we've gotten a little bit behind, so we want to catch up. So I know up to this point, you've probably seen so many reviews of episode
10.
4, season 2.
10.
Yes,
Bruh.
yes.
Bruh.
What does that mean?
Just bruh.
Okay, all right. You have seen so many reviews of season
Okay.
2, episode 4. What's one more? All right, so here we are. At least it's coming right before episode 5 premieres tomorrow. We are going to talk about. Am I missing something? I just want to make sure.
No, you're not missing anything.
Okay, all right.
I just figured we should get to the content instead
Okay.
of telling people they've seen this before.
Okay, all right. Season 2, episode 4, called Heart of the TVA. Written by Eric Martin and Katharyn Blair, directed by Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. All right, let's start. Now, what I'm enjoying the most about this series are the characters, right? And the actors who are this is a very well cast series. I love the characters. Let's start breaking down some of the characters, where they are, where they stand right now in this season. Let's start with Victor Timely, all right? Jonathan Majors. Okay. Now, his performance, apparently is polarizing. Okay. Some people enjoy his performance, some don't. I'm in the camp that loves his performance. I
Me
think it's
too.
well done. Yeah. I
Who
mean,
doesn't like it?
well, some people do. Yeah.
Like who?
I
Name names.
I can't name names. People out there in the social media world.
I'll find them.
Okay.
I'll find them and I'll pour them a cup of hot cocoa and tell them why they're wrong.
Okay. You don't need to do that. But anyway, so
Get it?
I don't. No.
Victor Timely loves hot chocolate.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yes, you're right. You're right. Okay. That's not a problem. Okay. So what I like about how he's portraying Timely, this character is completely different than He Who Remains.
Very
right?
eccentric.
Yeah, very eccentric, and he's got nervous tics. He has a stuttering problem, but he's very brilliant. Right?
Very bright, very geniusy. He's far removed from He Who Remains, who's still very smart, but he's diabolical. He's plotting everything behind people's backs.
That's a good point.
He jokes a bit, but like he's not funny.
Yes, you're right. You don't know if you can trust him, right? But
so far, we've seen 3 main players of Kang variants. Mm-hmm. It was first off with He Who Remains and Loki, then Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania, which is like his final form, and then here we have Victor Timely, which is a variant. By the way, Kang's real name is Nathaniel Richards, and here's something I really wanted to say this, Nathaniel Richards, once again, I said this last episode, Iron Lad, everybody. Maybe there's an Iron Lad variant out there that they could recruit for the new Avengers.
Who knows?
The Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, we already have Ironheart, and that show's coming out soon, but maybe they'll introduce Iron Lad and also Armor Wars.
We don't know. Yeah.
Ironheart should probably come before Armor Wars, so we could get like a Tony Stark AI.
Yeah. I've heard that.
We could put a Stark AI in a suit.
Yeah,
and give him a hologram.
Possible. That is possible. And and Timely had some very great lines, right? One of them was at the beginning when he arrived at the TVA, and Loki and Mobius are looking for him, and Loki says, "Well, you have to trust us. Come with us." And he says he's from Chicago, the shadyocracy capital of the world. I trust no one. And then when he sees the other variant, Sylvie, approach, and he says, "Oh, it's a party." And
he's like, the effervescent clock lady monster wants me.
Yes, how he refers to Miss Minutes. That was pretty funny.
Effervescent clock lady
that was
monster.
A good one. Yes. Everybody wants me, and so is this clock monster. Okay. All right. So that's Timely.
Victor Timely is a comedic genius.
Now, of course, we'll get back to Timely, and we'll talk more about
his untimely demise.
Well, how about that? There you go. And right, We did say it's a spoiler review, and obviously it's a spoiler review, right? Okay. Let's talk about B15.
Yeah, that did not make me feel good. That did not brighten up my day.
Okay, well, when we get to that point, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think he's really gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about it some more then.
I'd rather not, but okay.
Okay. Well, you don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about it.
B15. So this is a character we don't talk much about, but I get the feeling that B15, if the TVA still exists, that she is going to become a leader in this organization.
I'd say so.
She's just grooming to take over because if you look at this episode and what she's been doing up to this point, she is taking on these leadership roles. She's got this quality of negotiating with people, as we'll talk about when she's with General Docs and her team trying to negotiate something with them. She is very she has a lot of care about these people are on the timeline, right? Or branches.
Which is surprising because she just grew caring for these people out of nowhere. Like in the beginning of the show, she was like pruning people left and right, pulling people off the timeline.
Right.
And now she cares. And also, maybe if I'm not sure if she'll be the next Renslayer, but maybe she'll at least be like a general.
Who knows? Yeah,
generals seem to be
see her in a leadership role. Yeah.
But I think she could be the next Renslayer, the next leader of the TVA. Maybe they'll even make a Miss Minutes 2.0.
Why not? Okay.
Which would be cool because maybe we can have an arc about Miss Minutes meeting Miss Minutes 2.0 and then them having a fight. The effervescent clock lady monsters fighting each other. Yeah. That's so fun. That's so fun to say.
And B15 is played by actor Wunmi Masaki. Now, you don't know this because you didn't watch this show. It's an HBO show called Lovecraft Country.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Jonathan Majors came off of that show, right?
Exactly. That was my point. I was going to say Jonathan Majors and Wunmi Masaki were both in that series. So awesome. What a coincidence. Okay. And then another point where she was talking, there was a great scene where she was talking to the judge. All right. And the judge, if you remember from the first episode, made the decision to stop pruning, right? Because she saw that the branches were just getting out of whack. And, pruning would risk lives. So the judge made a decision that says, okay, for the time being or until further notice, we're going to stop pruning. So she has this conversation with the judge. And the judge wants to know what she thinks, like, what do you want to do? B15, and B15 says it's time for a change and that the new TVA, the way it's running now, would be worth protecting. But she's a little hesitant. B15 is hesitant that she can get other people to get on board. But what the judge says to her, which is very nice, she says, you changed me, meaning that you changed my way of thinking.
And you convinced me.
Yes. Convincing.
Yeah. You got no problem talking to anybody else.
Yeah, right. So to me, that makes for a great leader. So I really think she's going to really play a role in how the TVA is going to be running going forward, if there is a TVA. All right, so that moves us into Docs.
Yeah.
And X5.
So General Docs has nothing to do with doxing. She is in jail, as we know. And it's not looking great. She's in jail. She's gonna chill in, and she's just like, "Listen, Brad, shut up. All right, we already heard all about your life on the timeline. Nobody cares." And then all of a sudden, guess who shows up? Ravonna Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and they need followers. And she is not about to take prisoners.
Right. So this is interesting because B15 comes in to this holding cell, and we saw this holding cell the last time when Brad, he's Brad, the actor on his timeline, X5, comes in. B15 comes into the same room. X5 again is in custody along with Docs and a lot of the Minutemen, who were the ones responsible for the pruning and setting off the explosives and the resetting the timeline. B15 comes in and sees that she can have a conversation with her and say, hey, I don't want to do this, but let's work together. Let's get you on board, and we
B-15
run
reminds me of
run the
Finn in a way
timeline a little bit differently than it used to run before. Yeah.
B-15 reminds me of Finn in a way in that she's a soldier who doesn't have a real name, just like how Finn was FN2187. She's just B-15.
That's a good point.
So that's like an awful name. I mean, I'd be feeling really upset if somebody just always referred to me as B-15.
Right.
She should get a name.
Well, I'm sure she had one, and maybe
I don't know. We'll get a name at the end of the show, like at least Mobius.
Or at the end of the episode, right?
Like Mobius has a name.
Season.
Ravoda has a name. Loki, Sylvie, they all have names. But B-15 is like the only character on our cast who doesn't have a real name. Even Ouroboros has a name.
Ouroboros? Yeah. OB for short?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she's just a number.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she has a name. We'll find out what that is. So again, she approaches Docs and the team. Docs, it seemed like she was thinking it over. She was going to consider.
She just kind of wanted to get out of jail.
Yeah, she was going to consider a B-15's proposal.
Emphasis on was.
Right. And then here comes Renslayer and Miss Minutes. Trouble walks into the room. And Renslayer wants the same thing that B-15 wants, except that she wants to make sure that she is the one that is continually running the TVA and no one else. She wants power and control all for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. I think we had a comment from Alex.
All right. So we want to run the Q&A.
By the way.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. By the way, let me just say thank you to all who are here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you. If you're watching us on Instagram, as always, thank you very much. I know we were just jump right into it. So thank you, everyone. Alex says, great comparison, Keith. I can see how Fennec and B-15 are similar. I hope, too, we get a name for B-15.
You mean like Fennec Sham?
Yeah, you said Finn.
Yeah, I said
right, Finn. Right. No, but...
Yeah. Oh, you have leaks for episode 5.
Uh-oh. I mean... Carter Luna says leaks for episode 5. No leaks.
Actually,
no. We don't want any leaks. No.
Yeah, honestly, please don't put them in chat. Okay, we can't have our viewer pool contaminated.
Right. I mean,
I don't really want to share any spoilers with people who don't want to hear them in chat for an episode that's not out yet.
Fanatics, thank you for joining us. Hello to you. Yeah, we don't
keep your account. Don't share it with us.
Yeah. Tomorrow the episode is going to drop in 24 hours. So, let's just wait. Yeah.
Well, I can't. So you know what?
You can't wait. No leaks. All right. So, Renslayer.
No leaks.
Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Really enjoying the show so far. Yeah. Loki is pretty cool. Love it. Alex, not to worry about it. I misheard. You thought you said Fennec.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. Alex says, I like how Docs is a more complex character, definitely antagonist, but she did, as you said, consider B-15's proposal and respects how B-15 has integrity. I like that word, integrity.
Docs even had to call that out in the show. Like, she respected how B-15, she wasn't about to just throw Docs and everybody who worked with her into a jail cell and then watch them rot. She was like, listen, we're giving you a chance. Come on, you gotta stick with us.
Yeah, right.
And gave them options.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. So now Renslayer is here. Now let's not forget about Brad. All right. So we know Brad enjoys his time on his timeline. So he can't wait to get back to being an actor. This big actor. I guess he's a big actor. He loves the limelight, the spotlight. So he wants to get back there. So he will do anything he can to get back to his timeline. Okay? So Renslayer comes in with Miss Minutes, and she has an offer for them, right? So she wants to, of course, keep the timeline sacred. She was once the commander of the TVA military. All right, He Who Remains. Remember at the end of the last episode 3, Miss Minutes had a secret that she felt that Renslayer would be very upset to know about if she heard it.
Well, here it is.
And she heard about it right at the beginning of the episode. And it's they see a recording.
Yeah, it's like a hologram.
Or a hologram, right, of Renslayer and He Who Remains. And the two of them are talking as if they're going to be partners,
As if they're old friends
Yes.
or something more.
Right. And he made this promise that he, who remains, and Renslayer were going to lead the TVA together. And he called her a marvel. How about that?
Oh, no, I kid you not. If we see Renslayer in the Marvels, I'm going to
Well,
flip.
no, I don't think that means anything.
Dad, I'm going to flip.
Okay.
I'm going to flip like a lid.
It's funny. I think someone brought that up a while back about Renslayer being the antagonist in the Marvels movie, but I don't think that's
we
don't
really know much of the Marvels.
No, we don't.
Funny though, I think they upgraded Carol Danvers' costume.
Okay.
For the movie, and also, what is happening in the Marvels? Like, I don't really know. And we got 3 Marvels, which is gonna be awesome.
Yes,
but
I still have no idea what that movie's about. Do you? No. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I've also got
this weird scenario playing out in my head. Like, what if the Marvel Universe was absolutely perfect and nobody ever died?
That's your what if scenario?
Yeah, but you know what? We'd be losing a lot. Like, Spectre would never get powers, right? And Billy and Tommy would never be introduced to the MCU. We'd never have White Vision. Speaking of which, White Vision just disappeared. Like, I don't know what happened, but White Vision just all of a sudden said, bye. And we haven't seen him since January of 2021. Like, where'd he go?
Okay. Back to Renslayer. Ready? Okay, Renslayer. So after Ravonna leaves, he makes this promise that the two of them are going to run the TVA, and she walks away, and turns to Miss Minutes and says,
activate Protocol 42.
Protocol 42, which was
activate Order 66. Oh, no, wait, wrong show. Wrong franchise.
Something very similar to that. Now, 42, when I heard the number 42, I obviously thought of you because you have a connection to that number. Well, not you, but Marvel. There's a Marvel connection to that number 42.
Yeah, so also, guess what? 42 happens to be the number of the spider that bit Miles Morales, and it's also the number of the world that Prowler Miles is from. That Earth is Earth 42, and the 42 spider was supposed to bite him, which we saw in Into the Spider-Verse, because his spider sense was originally green and purple like the Prowler, because that world's Miles was supposed to be the Prowler, but he ends up becoming Spider-Man, and as such, his canon event is that Uncle Aaron dies rather than his dad. Whether that's just been prolonged and if it's still happening, we don't really know. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be too predictable if Miles' dad dies. It could go 2 ways, honestly. They could either play us thinking it's too predictable and actually go through with it, or they could go around it and just not take out anybody.
Got it. And Into Spider-Verse drops soon, isn't it?
Beyond the Spider-Verse, yeah.
Or is it Across the Spider-Verse? Now I'm getting the names.
Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are already out. Beyond the Spider-Verse is what's coming next.
Yes, right. So I think one of them just dropped recently.
Across the Spider-Verse is on Netflix.
Yep, there you go. Okay. All right, so that's the significance of 42. All right. So now Ravonna sees this, and of course she's upset. And Miss Menace says to her, well,
by the way, 42 erased their memories.
Yes, right.
Did I say that?
Yeah, well, that was what Protocol 42 is, erasing the memories of not just Ravonna, but everyone in the TVA, as we already know, right? So Ravonna did all this work for him and got nothing in return, right? All of her memories erased. And then Miss Minutes asked the question, well, do we really need He Who Remains?
I'm sure if He Who Remains weren't sitting in front of them, she would have taken him out herself.
Well, I don't know if she would have been that angry to take him out.
I would have been.
I mean, she's not Sylvie. Sylvie had
somebody decided to kill He Who Remains and ruin my life.
That's right. Yeah. OB was not happy. All right. So
OB, the absolute MVP of this season.
Yes.
What a goat.
Ke Quan. What more can we say?
Ke Quan, everybody.
Okay. We're going to get to Ke Quan.
Woo!
Let's talk about...
That's what it's all about. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's talk about this effervescent clock lady. monster.
Yes.
Miss
Minutes.
Oh man,
Miss Minutes is quite a menace to society.
She is wicked. All right.
I'm making all types of name puns.
Oh
today.
yeah. Go ahead. All right.
So, Renslayer and Miss Minutes, like I said, they want Doc's and her team to help run the TVA, and the temporal loom is also imploding. So Doc's and her team, they decide absolutely not. So Renslayer's like, anybody want to join? And Brad stands out of the crowd, and he says, you know what? I'll do it. Because he really wants to get back to life on the timeline, being a successful actor and all. But everybody else on Doc's side would rather perish than join Renslayer. And so they do. And Miss Minutes, being the absolute menace to society that she is, decides to pull the machine. Remember that machine Loki used in episode 3?
To torture
when he
Brad.
put Brad in a box?
Right.
Well, he didn't actually shrink him. He didn't do what Block did.
He just scared him.
By the way, this is actually the exact same power we saw in season 5 of The Flash. It was like episode 2. Oh. The character's name was Block, believe it or not.
Okay.
She
don't go too far out of the way.
Put things into blocks. But the weird part was they had the exact same weight. It's just the surface area was compressed.
Okay.
It's like if you take, by the way, what weighs more, 50 pounds of feathers or 50 pounds of dumbbells?
Dumbbells.
Well, both, because it's 50 pounds exactly. So if you had 50 pounds of feathers and 50 pounds of dumbbells,
it's the same.
They would have to equally weigh each other.
Okay, that was a trick question, Keith.
But if you had one feather and one dumbbell, then the dumbbell would weigh more.
Okay.
I actually learned that like a while ago because I didn't think that earlier.
Miss Minutes. All right, we finished up with Miss Minutes.
Oh yeah, Miss Minutes. Okay. Let's just say, looks like somebody's ready to be shipped.
Now this is interesting. Now, like you said, Doc says she would rather die than work for Renslayer. That's deep. You know what I mean? Like she had disdain or hatred for this woman so much that she'd rather give her life before working for her.
That's powerful.
That speaks something. And
she actually did. She went through with it.
And that's
wonder, not funny though. I'm not trying to make a joke.
You as Renslayer, how does that sound when someone says that to you, that they rather sacrifice themselves than work for you, and you're standing there and you're watching them, their lives being taken away. They didn't sacrifice themselves, but their lives are being taken away by Miss Minutes.
Okay.
And crushed. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Miss Minutes needs
one of
to
the shocking
chill out.
scenes of that episode. And then again, back to B15.
She walks in, sees that mess, and
you see the look on her face.
She's just like,
it's just like she couldn't believe what she was seeing.
By the way, horror movies would be so short if every character had more than 2 brain cells. Like, if you see something that looks disturbing and you're in a room where you don't know if there's anybody else, Miss Minutes could have jumped out the corner and pulled out the box machine. Like, you back out and you turn tail and run. I mean, Miss Minutes can't really chase you in a hallway full of people. So.
Okay. All right.
Same thing with literally every other movie.
Okay. All right. And then, by the way, Brad, of course, was not caught in the box. So he went on and he's ready to work with Miss Minutes.
Brad observed.
Yeah. Brad, like, again, Brad is in for himself.
Brad just wants to get back on
he just wanted to go back to his acting career, and he did not. He survived. All right. Sylvie and Loki. Now, we didn't see much of Loki in this episode, which I'm not complaining, but we did have a great scene with Loki and Sylvie, and the two of them are at odds as usual. But they both have very good points as to who they think should run the TVA, what their roles are in the TVA. Of course, Loki thinks that, someone like him needs to run it, right? He's okay with people having free will, but there has to be some type of control, right? Yeah. Like he needs to police the people. Like, we have law and order here. even though we have free will to do the things we want to do, we still have laws that we need to follow. And I think that's the point that Loki was trying to make, that you just can't have, the TVA run itself. Somebody has to be here and keep things in order, right? Now, Sylvie's side of things is that, well, she's worried that we're putting the future of our lives and the TVA in the hands of people like Victor Timely and OB and Casey. Like, do we know? I mean, are they capable of controlling this loom or saving us from destruction? We don't know. All right. So
no, they are not.
Yeah. So Loki ends the conversation by saying, we're saving lives. We have hope. People can live free on a timeline, but the timeline needs to be controlled. And Sylvie says to him, "Well, you're sounding as if we're playing God." And Loki's response is,
"We are gods."
There you go. All right. Okay.
All right. Access denied.
Yes, that's right. So
by the way,
what?
Miss Minutes is kind of pulling a Jurassic Park. You remember when Newman,
Yes.
I'm calling him his Seinfeld name, when Newman hacked the machines and
That's
he's
right.
like, you didn't say the magic word.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
So that's what Miss Minutes is doing here. She's like hacking everyone's devices, like, And Miss Minutes is controlling every TVA system. And Loki, by the way, he is in the future. And I'm understanding now that it's a time loop. So you remember back in episode 1, when Loki was in the timeline and he saw Sylvie, he was in the future, and he saw Sylvie, but he never did get that time stick. But he was pruned anyway.
Good. Yeah, that's right.
Now we didn't know why.
Yep.
Because the future Loki had to prune past Loki for him to exist.
Exactly right.
Because if he didn't get pruned in the past, he would have been stuck in the future.
That's true, right. And well, the time slipping would have been the least of his worries, but you're right. He would have not been able to get back to his present life. Now, what is the plan? So, of course, there's always a plan going on. We're in OB's, we're in that control room where the loom is located. And, he brings out this not for scale model of the walkway, the gangway,
Certainly
they call
not to
it.
scale.
Right. And he explains what needs to be done to save us, save them, and save this timeline from exploding. All right. So he says someone's going to need to take the Throughput Multiplier down to the gangway. That's that stretch of a walkway, the same walkway that Mobius took, right, to save Loki. Well, the problem is this walkway is now full of radiation, right? And it's more dangerous than it was in the first episode. So, and once you walk the gangway, load the multiplier onto the launcher, hit the green button, launch the multiplier to the loom, scale the loom, and manage the branch backlog, right? So that takes care of the backlog. Now, of course, the problem is that you need to make the rings on the loom bigger so more branches can fit through. And the launcher that they have doesn't work, right? Mobius, Mobius mentions to them that, okay, well, somebody needs to go out there and be the one to actually take the multiplier and, yada, yada, yada. And the person needs to be super fast. And the second problem is the multiplier does not work because the temporal decay outpaces the multiplier. So my impression is that the loom ages faster than the multiplier, so they didn't quite have the correct multiplier needed. So Timely understood this and created his own multiplier back in the day, and he has a prototype. So
will it work?
Will it work? We'll find out. Okay. All right. So here we go. Time to be brave.
Yikes!
Before we start that, let's go to Q&A. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. I know this is a lot of information. Yes, I'm missing something.
No, you're not.
Yes, you're calling my names.
Bruh, I never mind.
Okay. All right.
Go to Q&A.
We're a Q&A. All right. Q&A. I think both Loki and Sylvie are right in some ways. There needs to be some rules. However, who would be a good leader? How should a leader be determined? Tough questions with no good answers. Do you have? Yeah. Okay, I thought maybe you would have an answer.
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're right.
I'm rooting for Loki, but that's only because he's like my favorite character.
I mean, again, I'm thinking it's neither one of them. I think it's going to be B-15 leading the TVA. Okay, Q&A.
That's it. That was it. We don't have any new questions.
Okay, all right. So now, time to be brave. All right. So
that hurts.
Everyone is trying to decide. Well, not everyone, but Mobius is telling Loki he should be the one to go out there the gangway. Loki says, "Well, why me?" And so, "Well, I went out there the first time. Well, this little guy here, this model here, looks like you." And Timely says,
and he's
"Okay."
Like, and Sylvie's like, "It's got a helmet on. It doesn't look like anyone."
Right, exactly. And so Timely finally says,
"That sounded more like Docs than it did."
That's all right. No, it's good.
She's like, "It's got a helmet on. It doesn't look like anyone." And Loki's just like, "Fine, I'll do it."
Right. And then
shut up, Mobius. And then Victor Timely's like, "No, it should be me.
Yeah.
Time to be brave." So he puts on the suit and he's running down the gangway. Like dude's really hoofing it.
Mm-hmm.
And
SpaghettiOs, right?
Yep. Yeah. SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
You could see his skeleton.
It was
graphic.
It was not pretty. It was a shock.
It was worse than the time slipping, man.
Yeah, we had no idea that was going to happen. So he goes out there and attempts to, get the multiplier and attach it to the loom.
1 second.
He stepped out. He took 1 foot out there. He was gone. So Timely is gone. All right. Is he? We don't know. But from what we saw in that episode, he's gone. And now the problem is, now that he's not there to help, control this overload of the timeline, the loom explodes and the blast of the loom is coming right at them. And it was a really wonderful scene where everyone is in the room. Once again, great acting, the facial expressions. These people
were shedding tears.
Terror. Like, what is going to happen now? And this thing is coming right at them. And you see Owen Wilson, like he's just standing, like, the room is shaking. He's just standing, just, shaking and having no idea what's going to happen. Mobius was
sitting there like,
yeah. It's like he's
he was about to fight someone.
Bracing for impact. Like he has no idea what's going to happen. And then it goes dark and end the episode. How about that? So
Q&A.
All right. Oh, we have more than one Q&A. Okay.
Now we do.
Timely became one with the spice. That's right, Alex. He became one with the spice. Question.
He became one with the spaghetti. Mr. Fantastic joined that club a while ago.
Right. Well, OB did say that, okay, well, if you're out there for too long, you can turn it to spaghetti. So anyway. All right.
And all Mobius' skin will fall off.
Yeah. Could Timely's death, in quotation marks, somehow lead him to becoming He Who Remains? I've heard this theory, but I'm not sure about it.
I don't think so. See, my original theory was that if Victor Timely dies, he can't become He Who Remains, which means the TVA crumbles because of the time paradox, because if He Who Remains never exists, then neither can the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. That could either be A, because Victor Timely isn't He Who Remains, or B, to your theory that Victor Timely comes back. But I'm not really sure on either of those.
Yeah. This is, once again, the kind of series that I like to watch where I don't know what's going to happen next.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And this is...
It would be so much better if they would just give us the whole show.
Well... I don't know.
The suspense.
I like waiting week after week.
I don't. The suspense is killing me.
Yeah. It's tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow, right? But the stakes are higher than ever. We don't know. So I want to talk about I Am Loving Loki, the SSW network. Thank you for joining. Yeah. All right. We are loving Loki as well. Loki is an awesome series. The smartest show on Disney Plus. I can agree with that. What do you think?
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I want to design a Loki buildable figure. Like you see this
that's Wolverine
right there.
Yes,
that's Wolverine. I should make one for Loki, and I'm gonna do it in a Lego Studio. Now, let me ask you guys. I should probably put a poll on our YouTube channel. But what what outfit should I give him? Should he be President Loki? Should he be like the original Trickster Loki or TVA Loki or whatever Loki variant we got right now? Because I need a costume.
Okay. All right. We can put that out.
Preferably one with the least printing possible. I'm really not good at designing this type of thing. Okay. None of these buildable figures has ever had a face.
I want to talk about two things, okay, before we close. Now,
a full face.
The coffee machine, the hot cocoa machine. What was that all about? Did that mean anything? Do you think maybe, and I don't remember the Minuteman's name that was pruned.
Yeah, he's still alive, I think.
You think so? He's just someplace else.
Yeah, you know how pruning works from the last
So was
season.
it a distraction? You think Timely was just distracting him so that he couldn't see someone coming behind him with a prune stick?
No.
So
Timely seemed absolutely shocked.
Well, he had no idea what
he
was
didn't
going
really
on.
want to be there either, He was fighting against Renslayer and Brad.
Yeah.
He didn't want to give up any information either, so
I didn't understand the fact.
You guys are the best.
I didn't understand the fascination of the cocoa in the cup.
I honestly think it was just, Victor Timely's from like the 1800s.
Oh yes, exactly, right.
Like hot cocoa machines, right? Something
he's never seen before.
They had hot cocoa, maybe that's what it is. They just didn't have a machine that made them, so maybe he likes hot cocoa.
Okay,
and the machine was fascinating.
But why?
I think he just probably wanted to take his mind off of stuff. Because I mean, if you just got pulled from your timeline and met a bunch of unfamiliar people who are telling you the world's going to end, and that suddenly your research is the center of attention that you need to save the whole universe, I think you'd want to take a step back and breathe.
Sure, yeah.
And that 1 minute man, he just seems so happy to go get some hot cocoa.
Yeah,
he was enjoying it, and then he got pruned.
I think maybe we shouldn't look
like that was unnecessary.
Exactly.
By the way, I wonder what happens if you prune somebody in the space where pruned people go.
What does that mean?
Like if you're at Alliance area and you prune somebody, do they end up back there? Like, do they end up back at the spawn point, or do they? What?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Just going back to the hot cocoa, I guess we shouldn't read too much into it. I think maybe that was just a way to get Timely away from Loki and Mobius, so that
Renslayer,
right? So that Renslayer can grab him, and
Oh, and Sylvie. Sylvie's got something for Renslayer.
Oh well, those two don't like each other.
Yeah, so she walks right into the room where they're holding Victor Timely, and she's just like, I hate you. So she mind controls Brad to grab Victor and bring him to them, and then has him walk back in, and Sylvie pops into the room and then prunes Renslayer. They lock out Miss Minutes. She's gone.
Yeah.
But the last thing she says is, "You'll never be him."
Right, yeah.
You'll never be him. And then she, gets erased.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think she just got shut down or restarted or rebooting.
She's like, I can't get into the system.
Yeah, she
help me.
Just started stuttering. Another great line from Timely.
Like, mocking's not necessary.
He has a stuttering problem, so he thought Miss Minutes was mocking him.
Mocking just isn't necessary.
Yeah.
Victor Timely.
Yes, I agree.
Oh my God.
And the last thing I want to talk about is the handshake. Did you catch this? So when Ouroboros and Timely met, and they were fascinated that one of them. Well, we don't really know who wrote the book. So,
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros wrote the book, but it was based on an inventor that he knew about from many years ago, which happens to be Timely. And then Loki asked the question, okay, well, which came first? And,
it's like a chicken and the egg situation.
Right. And Ouroboros says like a snakey in his tail.
That's what
Ouroboros means, right? Now, so a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. An OB called Timely a brilliant 19th century inventor. And if he had the resources, he would have been bigger than Einstein. All right. And then OB talked about integrating Timely's new multiplier with the Loom of the present would take a long time, but they tried to figure it out and it didn't work. But what Timely says to Obi is, if anyone can, it's you and me. And they shake hands. Now, there's a close-up on the two of them shaking hands, and then it cuts to a close-up of Sylvie looking very suspicious at the two of them. So what does that mean?
I don't know.
I said to you earlier today, you laughed at me, but I'm going to say it anyway because, maybe somebody agrees with me or somebody thinks I'm, funny, just like you
Nobody
think I
thinks
am.
you're crazy.
Yeah, but could OB be a Kang variant? Is it possible?
It's possible, but unlikely.
Well, that's not what you said before the camera roll. You laughed at me.
Yeah,
and said,
but
are you
I'm
kidding?
like, I think it's funny. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we'll say
Like,
so. Yeah, well, tell me why it doesn't make sense.
Kang variant?
So you think
it's been established in the Council of Kangs that every Kang variant looks like
same.
Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
They all look the same. I think the only deviation from the doppelgangers rule is Spider-Man, and that's because we had different actors and they're like legacy characters at this point, so they wanted to bring them back. But think about it, characters like Doctor Strange and now He Who Remains, all their doppelgangers look exactly the same.
Okay, all right. And my point was that Sylvia is a Loki variant, and they don't look the same. But then you said that's gender. That really doesn't have anything to do with.
It's a gender swapped version of Loki.
Well,
and
that's
that makes
true.
Sylvie her own character in her own right. But
I see. Okay.
It'd be kind of funny to dress up Tom Hiddleston in a wig and have him play a side character or main character to himself.
Well, I hear right. I get what you're saying because we know that
really
Loki
weird.
does.
That would make episode 4 really weird.
No, I get it. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. You don't want Tom.
I don't want Tom Hiddleston to be the main character to Tom Hiddleston.
Yes, wearing a wig and playing the Sylvie role.
Be funny?
I don't think it would work.
That elevator scene would just be ridiculous because it'd be Tom Hiddleston opening a door and Tom Hiddleston staring at Tom Hiddleston, and then Tom Hiddleston prunes Tom Hiddleston. Other Tom Hiddleston is like, "What did you do?"
That would, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
That would be ridiculous.
I don't know, but I do know that Sylvie is cautious of the two of them. Just from that look that she gave, that there's some things not right with the two of them. So anyway, yes. Q&A. Go ahead.
All right. Let's check out the Q&A.
Yes. Is Renslayer a variant of He Who Remains?
Let's check it out.
Well, there's a question right there. No?
Bruh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Once again, all the Kang variants look like Kang.
They should. Okay, we don't. So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, good point. The Loki variants are all Loki.
Okay, so
it's all Tom Hiddleston, except for Sylvie.
Okay,
Sophie DiMartino.
The Loki variants are all over the place. Alex mentioned something, and we'll bring that back up. Maybe He Who Remains. I don't think Obi is a Kang variant. But he might have his own schemes. Okay, all right.
I doubt that he's scheming.
All right, so Obi is not a Kang variant. Okay. And then we have...
What if Obi is a shapeshifter?
A shapeshifter?
I somehow doubt that. I feel like that's a really big side plot to have.
So that can't happen.
There were some comments about Alligator Loki. I want you to know that you guys are menaces for suggesting that, but you know what? I'm going to make a regular Loki... And I'm going to make an Alligator Loki be the side character. So, like, what version of Loki should I make? Other than Alligator Loki.
All right. SSW says, like, Renslayer is a He Who Remains variant, face blue, wide eyes.
I think that was supposed to be an emoji that just got translated to code because it's not compatible with our system. That happens. I get it.
Okay. I don't get it.
It's like a shocked face.
Okay.
That's what the face blue wide eye. You know the
that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's weird because the hands are always bent, like the.
That's the Macaulay Culkin look. You know, I think of Macaulay Culkin. I think
look.
Exactly.
Or like the Salvador Dali painting.
Yes.
You know, time where all the clocks are bending and dudes like.
Okay. As we're wrapping up, let us know if
I look like a fool.
If there are any more comments or questions, just send them on in. We want to not report the news, but, well, yeah. I mean, it's old news now. We were supposed to talk about this last week, but, we're bringing up again. Do you want to talk about it? Or I can do it? Hollywood Reporter.
What?
Right here.
Yeah, but what is all this?
Are we missing a page? Oh no, that's something else. No.
That's a completely different document.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the notes. All right, so you want to take a look at this?
I don't know how that got
talk
added.
about Daredevil. So things that seems to be moving along for Daredevil.
Yeah,
I got it.
We
have it. Yes.
So Dario Scartapane, whose recent credits included Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, as well as Netflix's Marvel show The Punisher.
What was that?
What?
Okay, keep going.
I had to breathe.
Okay.
As well as Netflix Marvel show The Punisher has been tapped to act as the new showrunner for the series, which is in a midst of creative overhaul.
Yep.
Additionally, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, the co-directing team behind indie genre thrillers who are coming off of directing episodes of Loki season 2, have been hired to helm the remaining episodes that will constitute the first season on Disney+. Daredevil Born Again was in mid-production in New York when the writers and actors strike forced it to pause. When Marvel execs reviewed the footage, they had a change of creative heart and decided to go in a new direction. The show was being spearheaded by Chris Ord and Matt Corman, who were acting as head writers, but have since departed. Daredevil is one of Marvel's longest-running creations and previously headlined a successful 3 seasons on Netflix in the mid-2010s, featuring Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer turned superhero. The series, as well as its spin-off Punisher, was known for its action and gritty violence. Marvel decided it wanted to harken back to the tone of that first series. Ooh. Marvel will keep some scenes and episodes that have already been shot, though other serialized elements will be injected. Scartapane will write the new episodes and new scenes, incorporating what was already shot. Benson and Moorhead will direct the new episodes to bring this first season to a close. It's unclear how many episodes it will encompass. Corbin and Ord will become executive producers.
All right.
So that's it for this episode.
Yeah, well, this... Okay.
President Loki. All right, you...
I want to say something about this article. Well, congratulations to the... Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, because they're doing a great job.
Oh wait, all the Loki variants don't look like Loki.
Because
a kid Loki,
I think
an alligator Loki.
I think I made that point.
And the old Loki, the classic Loki.
Well,
and
exactly. Okay.
I think it was a Viking Loki.
Can I finish up this? All right, here. Okay, so congratulations to those two gentlemen. They're doing a great job with Loki, I believe, and I think they'll be fine working on Daredevil. And I think Disney Plus was actually concerned about the violence, how much violence to show, because it is a Disney show.
Well, honestly, I mean, here's the thing.
Tell me.
We already have Marvel Zombies and Deadpool 3 coming out. Those are supposed to be TVMA and R, respectively.
True.
So I think a lot of people are glad that Disney's not trying to tone down Deadpool. But, I mean, what's Daredevil gonna hurt? Daredevil was originally TVMA. That's what made it great. So.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll have episodes that are PG-13. And maybe they'll have episodes that are R.
Right, yeah. The only thing that, not that I worry about, but, there may be some episodes that we both can't watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you might not be able to see it.
Well, I mean...
So I would, feel bad that, you wouldn't be able to see some of these Daredevil episodes.
Yeah, I don't think I'm accustomed to Daredevil level violence.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't think I'm accustomed to that.
Okay, yeah. Or Deadpool. If that's R-rated, I'm assuming that it will be. Oh, you seen Deadpool?
No.
What are you trying to say? Okay.
But there's like a PG-13 version
that's
of
Deadpool true, right?
Too.
They did, yeah. And maybe they'll do the same thing.
Like Once Upon a Deadpool or something.
No, I get it, yeah. So maybe they'll have 2 versions of the film. So, it'll be nice. All right, if there are no more comments, okay.
Honestly, I think Deadpool's kind of an idiot, but that's what makes him funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's a comedic idiot.
Yes,
him and Spider-Man were like good friends in the comics.
Yes,
they went on a lot of shenanigans together. They should do that.
Deadpool is a very valuable.
Oh, you know what?
Marvel
I'll make
commodity.
A Deadpool buildable figure.
Okay, all right. So while you do that, why don't we sign off? Okay. I want to thank our patrons.
I'm already imagining the swords.
John H., Mary B., thank you so much. We are working on something for the patrons. We'll have more information about that maybe on our next episode. Now, we're actually, Wednesdays are supposed to be our Star Wars live stream. We still have, and we're looking forward to coming back and talking about Asajj Ventress, right?
And then after that, I'm going to take that wheel.
Series.
And I'm going to do my Flash
and
episode.
Keith is going to take that wheel.
The costume's coming on.
Hey, if you know any DC fans out there, or if you are a DC fan, this is the place to be.
Put them in the room. Because I'm going to compare the Flash
and if you love Flash, you can't be anywhere else except here. You got to be here. We're going to talk about Flash. We're going to break it down.
And by the way, everybody, can I just say, Legends of Tomorrow is probably...
Keith cannot wait.
Legends of Tomorrow is probably the easiest Arrowverse show to get into. So, I love it. Okay. I'm on like the 6th episode already.
Get ready for the Flash. And then...
Peak TV.
All right. And then speaking of Marvel, just getting back to Marvel, I highly recommend this book. This is an awesome book. No, not Damon Lindelof. So this is Joanna Robinson. Oh, he's giving a review. So Joanna Robinson, Dave Gonzalez, Gavin Edwards. This is the reign of the Marvel Studios, the MCU. Excellent book. Anyone who's a fan of Marvel or the films or comic books, this is for you. I think, when you ever get an opportunity to read it, you should read it. All right. So that is it, everybody. Let me know.
I'm big mad.
Yeah. If you have any comments after the show, just send it to us on Apple or on YouTube. Keith, where can people find us?
Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Our socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers and Galaxy. Website, fathersandgalaxy.com. Our merch store is fathersandgalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Please donate to our Patreon page, patreon.com/fathersandgalaxy. Thank you to our patrons, Proaxium, John H., and Mary B. We really appreciate the support.
Yes.
Patrons get every episode we do a shout out for our patrons. So.
Yes, they do. Yeah, absolutely. And we will continue to do so. Yeah. All right. So we'll be back on Sunday. Can't wait for episode 5. We got mugs for your hot
cocoa, everybody.
Episode 5.
All
right.
We got sweaters to keep you warm from getting pruned.
And don't get. Yeah, you just took my joke. I was about to say that. Don't get pruned. All right. We good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So thank you, everyone. This was wonderful. We love doing these live streams. We love chatting with you.
And if the temporal loom ever explodes and it's too warm in your room, we have t-shirts.
That's right. All right. You also have a pot of spaghetti for you, too, if you like spaghetti. All right.
Yeah, we got thermoses.
Yes. And sauce. Spaghetti and sauce. Yes, all that stuff.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne.
Yes, that's right. I remember that. Yes. Oh, Flash. Talking about Flash. Okay.
Flash.
All right, everyone. Until next time.
Around the galaxy.
So we have the ATG. Yes, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah,
so
Alex, if that's what you're wondering, it's around the galaxy.
Yes, right. So
you're welcome, my friend.
Yes, thank you so much. I had the pleasure of being interviewed by Pete Flexer. He runs the ATG podcast along with Nick Melky. Force Connect with Chris Ryans. I had a great time. So that will be available. That'll be ready. Please check that out. We'll let you know when it's there. We'll promote that. I really had a lot of fun. So, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So everyone, cool. Until next time, take care. And we will see you again.
By the way, Alex, you're part of the council now, in case you're wondering. So we're creating our own council of wells, but